This content is for self-awareness and educational purposes only. Please use your own discretion and seek professional guidance when, if needed.
Today, we're going to talk about 5 tiny, almost playful ways to hit the reset button on your brain. And the best part? You don't need a yoga mat, you don't need total silence, and you absolutely don't need any experience. So, does your brain ever feel like a web browser with just way too many tabs open? You know what I mean. You've got the work tab, the what's for dinner tab, that nagging did I forget to send that email tab, and they're all running at once. It's this feeling of being totally overloaded. Well, this whole explainer, it's for that exact feeling. This really gets to the heart of it all. We have this idea that mindfulness means you have to be in a quiet room with a totally empty mind. But really, it just needs one single moment. A moment where you're actually paying attention to what's right here instead of worrying about what's next. All right, so let's get practical. We're going to walk through 5 super simple rituals you can try today. And I want you to think of them as little experiments for your brain. They're quick, they're easy, and honestly, they're surprisingly effective. First up is something called the color exhale. All you're going to need is a pen, any color will do, and about 10 seconds of your time. It's basically a way to take something your brain already does when it's stressed out, like doodling, and just make it a little more intentional. And it really is this simple. You just take one breath in, then, as you slowly breathe out, you draw one continuous line on a piece of paper. The only rule is don't lift the pen until your exhale is totally finished. That line, it's going to be wobbly and imperfect, and you know what? That's the whole point. So why on earth does this work? Well, by pairing your breath with a physical action, you're literally giving your brain a short but very real break from whatever thought loop it was stuck in. Just for a second, you're free. And sometimes a single moment is all you need to reset. Okay, our second ritual is called the mug moment. And this is all about anchoring a moment of calm to something you probably do every single day without even thinking about it. Just think about how we usually start our day. That's the picture on the left, right? We're scrolling our phone, we're thinking about our to-do list, and the coffee is, well, it's just there. But now look at the right. What if, before that very first sip, you just held the mug, really felt its warmth, noticed its weight, actually smelled the aroma? It's the exact same action, but it's a completely different experience. See, the only thing that changes is whether you're actually there for it. You're not adding a new task to your day, you're just showing up for one that's already on the schedule. It's a pretty powerful way to practice being present without adding any more pressure. Okay, number 3 might be my personal favorite, mostly because it's so wonderfully ridiculous. It's called the ugly doodle dump, and the goal here is, you guessed it, intentional imperfection. Okay, I want you to grab a pen and paper and think of something you are just genuinely bad at drawing. A horse? A bicycle? Maybe a sun that looks like it's having a really, really rough week. Now draw it. And the goal is to make it as bad as you possibly can. I'm serious. Lean into the awkwardness. The worse, the better. So why does this work? Because when there is absolutely no standard of quality, no expectation of greatness, that part of your brain that's constantly asking, am I doing this right? It finally goes quiet. There's nothing to judge. And in that small gap, you're just there. And it is such a relief. All right, let's move on to our 4th ritual, this story scan. This is a cool one because it's an eyes-open practice you can do absolutely anywhere, in a boring meeting, on the bus, standing in line at the grocery store. Nobody has to know. So all you do is look around the room slowly. But instead of just listing objects, chair, lamp, plants, you add one tiny imagined story to each thing. It doesn't have to be true or profound at all. Like, that's a chair someone sat in sideways once. Or maybe that fan up there has one blade that's secretly doing all the work. And here's the magic behind it all. You literally can't be genuinely curious and anxious in the exact same moment. They can't occupy the same space. That tiny act of inventing a story flips a switch in your brain, and it moves you out of that threat assessment mode into playful observation. And that's the reset. And now for our final ritual. Let's talk about those moments of just pure overwhelm and uncertainty. This is called the permission pause, and it's for when you feel like you have to have all the answers right now. The best part? It is completely invisible. You can do this without anyone even knowing. Just place your hands flat on your desk or in your lap, then silently, just to yourself, say, I have permission to not know the answer right now. and then follow it with a single, slow breath. Breathe in for a count of 4, and then out for a count of 6. This one is so powerful because it works on 2 levels at the same time. Mentally, you're just giving yourself permission to be uncertain, which creates this amazing sense of safety. And physically, by making your exhale just a little bit longer than your inhale, you're actually activating your body's built-in calming signal. It's a mind-body combo. So we've just walked through 5 very different little rituals: a doodle, a sip of coffee, a silly drawing, a quiet story, and a silent breath. They're all different, but they all point to the same simple truth.
So after all of that, what's the actual point? I mean, is it to achieve some perfect state of permanent calm where our minds are never busy again? No, absolutely not.
This right here, this is the real goal. The practice isn't about being perfect at staying present. It's about gently coming back to the present moment again and again and again. After the 1,000th time you get distracted, the magic isn't in never leaving, it's in the return.
And if you remember just one thing from all this, please let it be this. Presence isn't some prize you win on a good day. It's a place you can return to, just for a moment, anytime you need it. It is always available, even on a loud brain day, especially on a loud brain day.